Hey guys, how's it going? Today I have another very nice piece, the Michael Burch Kinesis. This was an auction knife back in 2018 in February. It was an online auction, um, and it is such a cool piece. I figured, now that I have it in hand, I should show it to you guys for those of you who are interested in Michael Burch's knives and maybe look a little bit in detail on what makes a Michael Burch such a great knife. So let's start with the blade. Michael Burch has a really unique design. His blades tend to be wider, but he has such a strong design language that he doesn't really need to put his logo, and you'll still recognize, who made the knife, even in different models. So this is a Chad Nichols Sanmai blade. Very nice hand rub. Michael Burch does a superb hand rub job. The lines are really straight, and it has a nice polish to it. And from past experience, the cutting edge is, you can slice paper very well, although the blade is thicker. So of course, if you try to slice fruit, that would be a little bit difficult. I haven't done any cutting with this piece. It's more for show, but I have done in the previous piece, which is also another Kinesis, which is similar to this, but not as elaborate. Having a look at the scale, this is a circuitized scale, and you can see Michael's fitment is very lovely. Also circuitized backspacer and clip, and all of the surfaces are very nicely polished, and it is very also scratch resistant at the same time. It's vibrant yet quite resistant to hand oils and scratches. Same with the orange peel. I think this is one of my favorite orange peels on any knife. Michael Burch doesn't do orange peel like anyone else. I think it's somehow, it looks aggressive, more aggressive, yet it is very, very refined. Very nice. I like it a lot. The pivot collars, they protrude out a little bit, which I think is a very nice touch. Of course, he can do it flush like he did here, but he chose to make it pop out, which gives it a nice effect. For, those of you who, I know there's a lot of custom knives where you have very high expectations, but when you get it in hand, you play with it a lot, something goes wrong one way or the other. But when you buy a Michael Burch, that will not happen. His action is extremely solid. As you can see, the lockup is beautiful, zero lock stick whatsoever, and the close is buttery smooth. There's no hiccup or hang up anywhere. Fires out very nicely. The detent is perfectly tuned. I think in this case, for flipping, you do have a thumb hole. It's a little bit tough to open it slowly, but you can use it. I'm not very good at it, but the flipper is the way to go. Personally, I think it's tuned more for the flipper rather than the hole. That may just be me though. I've seen other people who are able to do it fine. But if you don't have great hand dexterity, then you can just use the flipper tab. No issues whatsoever. The lockup is so solid when on the open. On the close, you can hear the detent sound. Let me get it out again. You can hear the detent sound, which is super nice. Always super solid. Love how the action feels, how the action sounds. One slight thing that I've noticed on this piece is the detent is a little bit high, or I guess tall. So sometimes when you close it, you wish there was a little bit more of a detent track, although it's not a big issue. I think that's, in terms of action, that's the most I can say. Otherwise, it's extremely solid. Never goes off center, which, let me show the centering again. Perfect centering, to be expected from a Burch. I've had maybe 3 or 4 knives from him. All of them have perfect centering, perfect action. You can use it and it will stay the same. Actually, in one of my older pieces, I handed it over to a friend who flipped it, and to my horror, it dropped. I guess maybe 2 feet onto the table, blade first, like this. But it was absolutely fine. No dings even on the blade. I guess because the tip is a little bit thicker, so it is strong. And the action feels like nothing has happened at all. Just a slight scratch. Super solid. Really love how this feels. The jimping, mildly effective. Although, to be honest, I prefer the jimping for aesthetic reasons rather than usability. The front, I guess, thumb ramp is a little bit far for me to reach. You cannot really use this as a finger shoil. I'm not really that type of person anyways. So it's also more for the looks. But it looks really nice, in my opinion. I love how the the flipper tab goes around. It's just extremely nice. What a cool piece from Michael. If you can find one and you love the design, you will not be disappointed with anything else. Except if you're, someone who flips knives all day and you really want the detent ramp, maybe that's a point of concern. And another slight ding is the backspacer. Because of the design, it is a point. So if you're not used to it and you put it in your hand, it can kind of poke you. And that may be a hot spot, but if you hold it like this and you flip it, absolutely fine. You put it to the side, you don't really have issues. Actually, I used to have the large Kinesis where the blade is longer. This one's a 3.1 inch blade, I believe. I had a 3.5 inch one, and that one was perfect for me. This one's a little bit small. I don't live in a cold area, so I don't really use gloves that often. So I don't know what my size glove is. But if I had to say, for people with, I guess, smaller hands, it would be better. And people with larger hands, it would be a little bit tight. But it's fine. You can still get 4 fingers on it. Let's see, what else do we have? The pocket clip. It's a 3D milled hidden hardware clip. And, you know, I think it's modeled after a spring clip, kind of, in terms of effectiveness. You know, absolutely no hot spots anywhere. Very well rounded. Works, you know, extremely well. Love the clip. Love the design. The screws are nicely polished. And on the other side, there are actually little points. You know, the screw heads, which are also polished. Michael really takes time to nail down all the details. And if you're the sort of person who, if you're like me, when you have even an expensive dress knife, you still want to carry it without hurting it, you know, look into a Michael Burch for the orange peel finish. And, you know, zirconium or carbon fiber, you can easily carry those around without being afraid to use it. It's just an awesome, awesome piece. You know, I hope you get the chance to look at such a wonderful piece and appreciate how well Michael finished this whole knife. All right. I think that pretty much covers it. If you have any questions, you can leave it down in the comments below. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching.